What is up YouTube, Program Father? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. In today's video, we're going to be reacting to 15 dev tricks and secrets from Black Ops 3 from That Was Awesome. Little video reaction here today. Something simple. I was going to watch it and figure bring you guys as a video. A link to the original video will be down in the description if you guys do want to check it out for yourself. And if you guys do enjoy this video, I appreciate you guys drop a like and subscribe to the channel. If you guys do enjoy and hit that bell, get notified every time we upload a video on the channel. Check out the description to a link to Discord if you guys do want to be part of the community, and a link to socials if you guys do want to stay up to date to when we go live or upload a video. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and get right into this reaction.
Hello everyone and welcome to Dev Tricks and Secrets. Today we're taking a look at 15 of them across the maps of Black Ops 3, stretching all the way from Shadows of Evil to Revelations. As always, this series is really just
good to know some, see some tricks and secrets that, I haven't seen before.
And if you enjoy any of it, then consider leaving a like down below. It helps me out a ton. And of course, make sure to subscribe so you can come back for more. But without further ado, let's get into it. For our first dev trick here on Shadows of Evil, it's about the intro cutscene. And specifically the area in which this part of the cutscene takes place, as it's the only part that isn't inside the map somewhere. Well, besides this little chase scene, which can easily be found just outside of the
wondering. Yeah,
that's not. But as for this scene with just the rows, it's a little bit less straightforward. It seems rather obvious that it takes place somewhere within this building, because right across from it, you can kind of make out the Ruby Rabbit in the background. Although, to be fair, it could be added as an after effect. But if we do go inside of these windows, we will find an empty black room here. One that has collision as well.
Has collision, so you can go into it.
Large enough to house that cutscene. Although, I will say, there's a lot of things different here. For one, in the cutscene, there is only one singular window, while here, in-game, there's a whole bunch of them. And not to mention, the curtains are wildly different, although, to be fair, there is no modeling here in-game, so that very well could have changed. The problem is, though, if we go ahead and take a step back a little bit, we can see that there's actually a whole bunch of rooms here. On the very top level, there is an identical one to the one we were just in, and right next to the one we were in, to the left and right, there's two more. And just below that, there are three other ones that do have a little bit of modeling and do have a curtain very similar to the cutscene. Except the only issue with this room is it is definitely not large enough to house the cutscene. So it could be the case that this was just made larger for the cutscene, and it is this room, and there is a really nice view of the Ruby Rabbit from here, but I am not entirely sure. For our next dev secret, funny enough, it is actually about the Easter egg, or a specific step of the Easter egg, I suppose. The one that has to do with these symbols.
I never get these symbols,
to be honest. I don't even know how to call them out. These symbols are actually inside of a black box, and even this one here is just floating off the back wall. But the notable thing about this, if we look really close, we'll see what looks like just an extra bit of symbol. And we can see that this symbol in particular is much worse than the others. But if we look really closely and match it up to the other symbols, we will find that this is indeed just one of those. And of course, the reason for this is all of these symbols are part of the same texture sheet. Meaning that when the developers place these out, they do have to size them correctly, and it seems that this one might have been done wrong. I'm sure some developers might be a bit embarrassed by that, but I think it's really cool, actually, and kind of gives us a peek into how these things are created,
it's going fast, so you don't really notice
all
it,
of these symbols just lined up
so it doesn't really matter.
In a massive
when you're going fast in the tram, you're looking,
and I bet that would look
you go so fast, you don't even notice that.
For our next dev secret on Shadows of Evil, we actually have to go to Kinoten first. Because right outside of this window on a coat hanger is a top hat. One that I have always thought belonged to the Shadow Man. But it turns out I'm definitely wrong. Coming into Nero's place here, we can see that it is most certainly his hat, as he has one right here inside of his house. It's my guess that the developers are putting this here because Kinoten, after all, is a stage, and it would make a lot of sense that this magician could have played here. Although, Kino being a German theater in 1963, I suppose it's possible, but it doesn't make a ton of sense.
Just there to be there.
As it's very obvious that Nero, for one, is not German, and also on top of that, the map Shadows of Evil takes place in 1944. So although he could theoretically be alive in 1963, it doesn't exactly line up. It is definitely more likely that this is just a reused asset, although a reused asset in a very interesting place. For our next dev secret, we have to walk ourselves on down to the subway station, because here, plastered on all the walls, is a whole bunch of equations. Equations seemingly scattered about somewhat randomly. I mean, it doesn't seem like
I never noticed that, to be honest.
But they for sure are everywhere. The secret here is
Guess I don't
that
pay
these
attention enough to it.
equations are most certainly real. Although they don't exactly follow from each other, most of them have to do with electrodynamics, with equations like things for the pointing vector being s, and other things such as what is right next to
All
it, which is
mathematics
ampere
shit. I
flow.
have no clue.
But like I said, although they all are
I'm not
sort
gonna do
of from the
anything here.
same area of physics, they don't exactly follow from each other. Like,
Physics
there's
and
no
like
real
that.
mathematical story being told here. It's sort of just a whole bunch of equations. Nevertheless, being a bit of a physicist myself, I am very interested in this stuff, and it's really cool to see that they actually took the time to not just draw up a whole bunch of random symbols. And for me, looking at this wall, a whole lot of this is instantly recognizable. But that is it for Shadows of Evil, so let's go ahead and teleport to the Giant for our next step secret. On the Giant, as well as its counterpart Derice, there are a lot of little environmental Easter eggs, such as this teddy bear that's just hidden outside the map. And over on World at War, for instance, near Teleporter C, there is this dog print on the wall, which when you hit interact with it, you can hear your character groan. This dog print is also here on the Giant, although there are some other ones hidden outside of the map that most people probably don't even know about. Outside of this window in what is normally the Thompson room, we can find some dog prints on the back wall, far outside the map that you can't normally see. Quite literally, the only way to get here is through NoClip. And over here by Teleporter A, just outside of this window location, is another set of dog prints. These dog prints are in World at War as well, but for some reason here in Black Ops 3, there is no background texture to them. You can see right through the map. And it's especially weird with these ones, considering you could very well see them just standing here at the window location. A very strange detail, and I'm not exactly sure if it's an oversight or a glitch that's going on, something that was not exactly intended by the developers. Nevertheless, it's really cool to see that they're still here, especially the ones that are hidden way back here, because no one would even notice that they're gone. But I suppose it's time. That is it for the Giant, but here in DE, there are a few more dev tricks to check
transition
out.
Right
For our next one, it is about these dragons, which work just like the wolves' heads on Mob of the Dead. When you kill the zombie next to them with boxes, they're very strange shapes, actually. I imagine that's just so they fit inside of the dragon's head, but there are 3 of them. We can see this one that's really large in front of us, a small one in the middle, and this one down here that's a bit more gray. And I know that these are not just part of the normal dragon texture, because inside of one that is already animating, these boxes are completely gone. They seem to disappear the second that the dragon turns from stone into the animated version that we see here. For our next dev secret, it is about the rockets, which if we fly on over to this one, we can see it is on Start Platform 3. And I say rockets because in case you don't know, there are 3 of them. 2 still here on their platforms, and the 3rd, of course, launches right at the beginning of the game. As for the platform where Dempsey's rocket launches, we can see that it is Start Platform 2, as you might expect. So if the one that you play on is 3 and this one over here is 2, it would make a lot of sense that the 3rd is going to be 1. But if we come on over here and get real close, and zoom on in a bit, we can see that this is actually just another Start
Platform. It'd be cool if there was like if you could go to the other paths.
Being used here to lessen the development time, and I imagine
if we could go down to this pad right here, it was open.
Platform sign. Although to be fair, it's such a small detail, it probably wouldn't have taken a ton of time. It is really cool to be able to uncover the secret. But unfortunately, that is it for DE. So heading on over to Zetsubo for our next dev trick. If we no-clip our way underneath the map, of course, we will find the boss fight room, which is a really cool experience on its own here ahead of time, seeing this place completely empty and void of zombies. But when you come here early, you'll notice that the boss is missing its arm.
Just had to change the number.
Hilarious as well. And it looks so strange.
Not really a lot
sitting here idle, not moving, and not to mention without the massive roots that are coming out of its jail cell. It's a very strange sight to see, and I was curious as to what exactly turns on this guy's arms. Originally, I thought it was opening the bunker doors that did this, but after grabbing the bucket, turning on the power, and going down there, it turns out that that's not the case. Apparently, it is much, much more simple than that. If we just go ahead and exit no-clip back here for a second, we'll hit a trigger that will transform the boss into what he's supposed to be. And we can see it happen in real time, which is really cool as well. And for our next step secret, that means that here at round 1, if I just go ahead and cheat in the
Ready to go down
KT4
the
real quick,
elevator.
we can defeat the boss fight without doing any of the Easter egg steps. Upon entering this room, the game fully commits to you being in a boss fight now. And I mean
Exactly, yeah,
fully
when you come
because if I
down,
no-clip back into playable space, it will
it
immediately
starts.
teleport me back to the boss fight arena. Meaning that you can essentially beat the boss fight and complete the Easter egg on round 1.
That's funny.
For our next dev secret here on Zeto Noima, if we go ahead and no-clip in the bunker before putting any water inside of those
That's funny.
115 conversion generators, and then by the door to the power switch, we can indeed go under the water, unclog the pipes, and then turn on
Round
power.
1.
At least power generator still works.
And I
Good
must
cutscene,
say,
good
it is
cutscene.
very strange seeing the other
Next
side of
dev
this
secret.
door with it closed and the power on. And if we walk on up to the door, it will say that we can open the door with a cost of $0, which is also a very strange thing to see. And
turn
for the fun of
power
it,
on?
might as well do that from
That's funny.
inside, huh? See these zombies spawning
But you
in
need
front of
no-clip
us.
for it.
And interestingly enough, when you do this, it doesn't
the door's
spawn
not even
one
open.
of the boss
It doesn't
zombies.
open.
The spore guys. I actually
That's
kinda
funny.
forget what they're called. I guess the game is a little bit glitched out and doesn't know what to do there, so that part of the script just doesn't get activated. But for our last dev secret
That's
here
funny.
on Zeto
'Cause
Noima,
there's
if
no
we
water in
head
it.
on underneath the map, we'll find some pretty cool things. For one, there is a lineup of perks
That's
down
funny.
here underneath spawn, which I have showed before, as well
Oh,
as
shit.
a random blue light and another 2 perk machines over here that are clipped inside of each other. But something that I don't think has been on this channel before, if we go really far underneath the map,
That's
so
cool.
far in fact that we are out of the sun volume and everything above us turns white,
Oh, perks.
we can find 3 pedestals down here. The pedestals that you put the skulls on for the challenge Easter egg. I'm not exactly sure as to why
Just,
there
the
needs to be
perk
copies of
upgrades,
these,
you know?
and I'm even more unsure as to why there's only 3 of them, considering that there's normally 4 of them for each of the skulls here. But nevertheless, it is
Oh,
quite
shit.
awesome to find them down here, so let me know down in the comment section what you guys think and why these are there, why there's only 3 of them, because I am not exactly sure.
They just ride
But
random
that is
shit.
it for Zeto Noima, so let's go ahead and end this boss fight and move on
Yeah.
to Go Rod Kurovi. For our first dev secret here on Go Rod, it's about this massive clock
Maybe
tower
they're
outside
only
of the
have
map,
3?
which, as
Oh,
you
no.
would expect if we get up close and personal with it, we can see that it is set to 115, being a little hint, of course, at the element 115, and not to mention a whole bunch of other maps that have had this exact same thing. The strange part about this on Go Rod Kurovi, though,
Kurovi, let's
is
go, let's
outside of the
see.
map, there are a bunch of these churches,
Okay.
which, getting close to
Does it move?
those, we can see that these do not say 115, and instead, rather something like 205, or I guess like 202
115?
maybe? Anyways, that's not the point. For some reason, these clocks, although they are clearly styled specifically for this
Does it
map,
not
they do not
say
read
that whenever you look
115.
for it?
I really don't know if there's any significance to this, but it is a very
have 115?
strange detail to see, and one that might be difficult to see without no clip. For our next dev secret, it is about a very small detail that is extremely hard to notice. At the library, if we go on up to where we ride the dragon and look far outside of the map, I mean, it looks pretty normal. In fact, it looks great, actually. But if you look really close, you might see something. Do you see it? You got it yet? Well, if we use some
obviously.
no-clip and fly on over here, we will see a telephone pole that is just floating here above the river. It makes absolutely no sense why it's here, obviously, but it's definitely here. And in case you want another shot at
It
it,
looks good.
you
Graphic looks
can
good.
indeed see it from this platform.
A
It's just
plane?
hanging up there, although some of it is called out. You can kind of only see the very top of it. It looks like some developer just
A
left
pole?
this hanging
I didn't
out
see a
here.
telephone
I
pole.
don't know if this is on purpose. I mean, it seems pretty hard to miss, but nevertheless, it is cool to see. But that is it for Go Rod, so let's go ahead and take a ride through the pipes to Revelations
Oh,
for
you
our
can.
next dev
Oh,
secret.
shit.
Our first one here on Revelations is
funny.
about these portals, which seem to be made up of a series of 2D textures that are sort of
That's
like
funny.
floating inside of each other as like a hologram. It looks very strange. There's definitely some stuff here that I don't exactly understand, but when looking at it from an angle, you can see the entire
These
texture
transitions
sheet
is
just
pretty cool.
repeating off in each direction. And there definitely is multiple textures here as well, such as this one down here in the foreground, and then the one
Obviously.
for Nocturne and Toten there in the back. And for instance, here's the one for the DE section of the map. It also repeats in all directions as well, and gives you a very
It's
trippy
just, you know,
effect when looking at it.
You think
from an
about it too
angle.
much, just a
And
portal to go to
strangely
Nocturne and
enough,
Toten, you know?
There's also this little shot here of Dr. Monty's house up on the hill. A shot that seems to show some differences with the actual map, including a much lower barrier leading up to the house. I very much so wonder whether this is like an early screenshot from the development of Revelations, or if it was just made separately. I'm not exactly sure, but it definitely is really cool to speculate what it would have been like to be able to have a pathway here that just walked you up to the house. And for our final dev secret here on Black Ops 3, we need to make our way over to Verrucht. We're down here in the courtyard of the place. To the right, we can see a fountain, and on
Those
top
robots
of it,
in the background?
an MG42. An extremely awesome hint at a little dev secret that was hidden underneath the map of the actual Verrucht, where there was
I wish
a
we would've got up to
mountable
the house.
MG42 that you could get on and shoot at zombies with, although it was a little bit jank, and of course you were never meant to actually access this. Using some no-clip you can, and it's really cool to be able to see that the developers had a nod to it here in Black Ops 3. I imagine a lot of people know about this one by now, but I just think it's super awesome, so I had to put it in the video. But with that being said, that is it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, consider leaving a like down below. It helps me out a ton, and of course, make sure you're subscribed so you can come back for more. There are plenty more dev tricks and secrets in Black Ops 3, as well as all of the other Zombies games, and I can't wait to get to them all. If you want to watch more of my content, you can click one of the videos on your screen right now, but if not, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay awesome, and peace out.
Alright, and that is 15 dev tricks and secrets from Black Ops 3 Zombies. Some of them I actually didn't know. I don't think I knew about. The only one I think I knew about is the last one here, is MG. That's the only one I really knew about. The Revelations one, he was just talking about the portals. But everything else I really didn't really know about. Yeah, the rocket platform, didn't know about the stuff in Dragon Head. Didn't really know about. So all that stuff was new to me, but I didn't know about the last one. Let me know down in the comment section if any of these new tricks or secrets are new for you, or if you knew about these ones, or certain ones you knew about. And just let me know all that down in the comment section below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please you guys drop a like and subscribe and do all the usual YouTube business. Go down in the description to all the links to their channels and the socials and all that to stay up to date when I go live upload a video. And until next time, I will see you all later. Peace out.
Man, you know I gotta flex my fucking chain. I don't give a shit, little bitch. Yeah, I gotta do this shit. Always in the zone, even when I'm not alone. Let me pull up to your home. I don't need them digits. Man, I know my luck, especially on my limits. Tell me why you gotta be so curious. Rolling with my click,